While the Knicks suffered a heartbreaking loss on Friday night in Game 3, their opponent, the Pacers, they recorded a thrilling victory that kept them alive in the Eastern Conference semifinal series. In New York, Post Sports reporter Brian Lewis, he's been covering the Pacers throughout this series, and he joins me now from Indianapolis, a.k.a. Naptown, for those in the know. Brian, how's it going?
All right. Good to talk to you and good to be here in Naptown.
Yeah, there you go. I'm educating the people about Naptown. Stephen Bondi didn't know about Naptown earlier, but I put him on. And my producer, my editor, Antonio, didn't know about Naptown. I put him onto that too. So it's good. We're educating the people. That helps sometimes. But Brian, let's talk about the Pacers because they had to win this Game 3. Otherwise, they would have faced a hole that no NBA team has come back from. That's being down 3-0. So what's the mood around this Indy team now that they've won a game in the series?
I mean, it's a lot better than it would be 0-3. I think, what is it, like 0-154 for people that are down 3-0 in the league. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty young, energetic, exuberant team anyway, right? That's just the way this team is built. So, I mean, I'd say the mood in that locker room post-game was pretty good. It was pretty bubbly, actually. I mean, for a team that had to fight tooth and nail and is still down 2-1 in this series, they're pretty upbeat.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be, winning the big game the way they did. Now, how they won the game, and Andrew Nembhard's 31-foot desperation three-pointer, that was the dagger in Game 3. Should the Pacers be concerned that it came down, and I don't want to just trivialize it to that shot, but it came down to that shot that they made against the Knicks team that didn't have their best two-way player in OG Anunoby. Should that be of a concern to Indianapolis?
I mean, it would concern me. I mean, and yes, it's a great shot. But I mean, it's a miraculous one. I mean, he gets a grenade from Tyrese Haliburtons, and it's the second deepest go-ahead three in the last 30 seconds of a playoff game in 25 years, just behind that, that Dame winner. So yes, I feel better actually about the Knicks and worse about Indiana than I did a day ago. I would say that's a confident team in Indianapolis, and clearly their spirits are up. But yes, there are a lot of things that I would be concerned about if I were an Indiana fan or an Indiana player.
Yeah, can understand the concern there for the Pacers. Now, the Pacers, they could be viewed in the series as playing with house money coming into the series, Brian, because they weren't expected to be here as the 6th seed. Do they believe that they can get the job done here and even the series up at 2?
Oh, yeah. That's a confident bunch in there. They 100% believe that they can win this. Now, what I would tell you is they have a lot of young players who just are inexperienced at this playoff thing, and they have some old heads in there that I'm not going to say that they're dour. I'm going to say that they're more realistic and that they understand where some of those failings are. TJ McConnell's been there, done that. He looks and he says, oh, well, we need to get better here, here, and here. We need to do this better, that better, this other thing better. Pascal Siakam, who obviously has won, he looks at things and says, okay, we need to improve in this. We need to tighten this up. But by and large, yes, 100% in that locker room, they think they can win.
Got the confidence there coming off that Game 3 victory. Now, on the injury front, like Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Haliburtons also has been dealing with injury. His hamstring's been nagging him since about midway through the season. What's the status of the Pacers point guard who looked a little bit gimpy? What's his status for Game 4?
Yeah, he rolled his ankle on a steal and a layup. And obviously he's dealing with the back that had him questionable for this series when it started. And you're absolutely right. I mean, he had the hamstring that he missed 10 out of 11 games with. And he has not been the same player since he did his hamstring. These last 2 games are the first time that he's looked like himself since he did his hamstring, really. But that being said, I think it would probably be surprising if he's not out there. Yes, he acknowledged he's hurting. As a matter of fact, he just called it his whole body because he has so many body parts that are injured. But it is the playoffs. It's Eastern Conference semis, so one would think it's going to take a lot to keep him from being on the court out there on Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
All right, so we should expect to see Tyrese Haliburton out on the court against the Knicks in Game 4. Last thing for me, Brian, the Pacers, they finally get one in the series. What do they believe are the keys? Because you mentioned some of the veteran players knowing that they'll need to clean things up. What do they believe are the keys to them winning Game 4 and knotting the series up at 2?
Well, I mean, toughness is an issue. I mean, the Knicks are about as physically tough and, frankly, mentally tough as you're going to find. It's something that Rick Carlisle has been pleading to see from his team, and he finally saw a little bit of that in the fourth quarter. But they are going to have to play more than 8 or 9 solid minutes of defense. They're going to have to find some way to at least slow down Brunson. And they're going to have to give him different looks. Listen, they've tried everybody on him at one point or another, right? Whether it's Nembhard. I mean, I wouldn't dare put Haliburton on him, but T.J. McConnell's done a decent job when he was on him. And then Naismith actually did a fine job last night. But you can't give him just one look. You're going to have to give him not only different defenses, but different defenders. And these are the kind of things that I think Rick Carlisle is going to be trying to pull out on Sunday. He can't just run one guy at him, and he can't just run one look at him. It's going to be after a mix of defenders and a mix of different defenses.
Yeah, we will see how that all plays out defensively for the Pacers. Game 4 on Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, going down in Naptown. That is Brian Lewis covering the Pacers for the New York Post in this series. Brian, good talking to you. We'll see what happens in Game 4. I will see you at the Garden for Game 5.
All right. Can't wait to see you.
No problem. Thanks, man.